Welcome back. Let's now talk cyber defamation. What exactly does it mean, and what can constitute an offense when it comes to defamation? The lawyer is here to bring perspective and insight to all of that, because they say we're not learned. They are the learned ones. We're just lettered. So that's why they will bring those explainers. We're being joined in the program by a former chairman of the MBA Keja branch and a social justice activist. He's also known as a radicalist, legal practitioner, Mr. Adeshina Ogulona. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Yes.
Well, I'm sure we're going to get some radical ideas and information from you today about this. But we've seen across the social media the incident that involved a gospel artist recently. And we've seen suits being filed in court and all of that. I'm sure it's a premise for some of this conversation, although it's been there. However, the reason we're doing this, I want to quote something from the Penal Code, which is section 3043, in the interest of the general public. It says, a person is presumed, unless the contrary is proved, to have knowledge of a material fact, if that fact is a matter of common knowledge. I know you will be able to expatiate on what this means, but I know you know what I'm talking about, because everybody needs to understand this. So let's begin with the basics. People just throw around the word defamation, but there are integral parts to it. There's the issue of slander and libel. What exactly is defamation? What constitutes defamation in the eyes of the law?
Well, thank you.
Cyber defamation, I should add. Cyber.
Well, defamation itself is almost self-explanatory. Defame minus fame. Somebody is supposed to have a reputation established, already known. You're a journalist, I'm a lawyer, and all that. Now somebody now reduces that intentionally, maliciously, without basis, unjustifiably. And when you're now adding cyber to it, you're talking of cybernetics, computer networks, and you know the computer itself is quite a strong, massive weapon, if I can use it, for broadcasting, distribution of information. So it becomes quite very potent when you never call it, whether it's qualified privilege, whether it's fair comment, and whether the heaviest justification. Whether the guy really has justification for what he's saying, because the mere fact that you are 70 or 80 does not mean that you cannot be naughty, or in fact reckless and irresponsibly so, you know. So you, but that would be the onus. Sorry, not you. So the onus is going to be on whoever. But then on the other side, when you talk of freedom of expression, the president is actually our servant. You are talking of democracy. The president is actually our employee. He begged us to put him there. He contested, in fact, he frustrated, in some cases, even gave inducement and all that, just to be there. So if you talk down on your employee, well, you're privileged in a way. He's a bad boy. And you know, among the white people, they say, even the king, whom they call Allah Sheikh Jorisha, the companion of the gods, there they will say, we call him by name. They say, oh, you come. In the privacy of their homes, that we call the king by name, irreverently. When you get in front of him, Shao, Kabi, but when you are discussing about the Oba of Lagos, I say Akinolu, we just talk, but not that when you go in front of him and all that. So in a way, and when you think of democracy and the jurisprudence behind democracy, democracy is a diminution, a reduction, and it's a strong alternative and counterforce to monarchy. Democracy is about a counter to absolutism and the tyranny, infused powers of monarchy. And so democracy says you can't be a judge, at the same time being the king, and at the same time being the lawmaker, who will separate it. And above all, the only king we are going to have is the law. If you even the king, you are under the law. That's why the president of a country is never a king. And up to now, the Africans are yet to understand democracy in its proper perspective. In our language, we call it Ijoba. Government is called Ijoba. It's wrong. It's not Ijoba. Ijoba, Oba Jije, the making of a king, the ruling of a king, the doing of a king. That is the old world order of the Africans. They are yet to come to terms with what democracy is. That's why it's a big deal that the president is African president feel offended that people are irreverent and you say His Excellency. I can't remember last when the president of America is called His Excellency, the president and the commander in chief. It's not done. It's not done. You know, okay. That idea. When you promote the beauty of democracy, right. Is about liberty, it's about equality, right. It's about raising and a departure from being subject to citizenship.
If I may butt in, because yes. You know we're talking about cyber defamation, yes. So we're going to contextualize it as much as possible. But you made some very strong point. However, young people will look at it a bit differently. I don't know what the law will say because cultural context. When a young man says, that guy is bad, doesn't necessarily mean that he's the opposite.
It may even be swell, like you're nice.
So that guy is very good.
It's good, yes.
So we had, God rest his soul, Mobad, you know, all of that. So I just wanted to posit that. But I want us to break it down further for the purpose of young people who can get themselves into trouble by what. So I want you to separate what constitutes, under defamation, what is slander, what is libel, what is vulgar abuse and all of this.
Okay.
And what can prove, what action can you take in terms of, say, somebody defamed me? Olusegun in his legal writing says the words will be defamatory by definition. It will refer to the plaintiff. The words will be published. I want you to break it down because some people would just say, I just made an innocent statement. How far is innocent? How innocent is an innocent statement? So break it down for us: slander, libel, and vulgar abuse.
Oh, thank you so much.
Specifics.
Thank you. Well, let's start with the littlest, if I can use that term, vulgar abuse. Vulgar abuse are vituperations in fit of anger, and it's immediate. It's face to face. You're stupid, and the classic example, Ole. Or Lusha, it was to Losewari, and there's a case. It's actually you thief, you that are an ex-convict, but they are fighting and they are abusing them. Say, you know, you're flinging what's even marriages. It happen at home. It's happen when people lose their temper. You understand, and the law will recognize well. It's all these things are said in fit of anger, and it's immediate. You are counterpunching so that you get nasty to each other and everything. Usually when men and women are fighting, usually people say, harlot. It doesn't really mean the woman, you say harlot. You bastard. Even parents fling words at a child. Say, Omale. You are angry, you're upset, and you're shouting abuses at yourself. Generally, the law will not, talking from the point of view
that's
of
not justiciable.
No, it's not. The law will say, well, you people are arguing, you are fighting, you are pummeling yourself verbally. You understand? Now, when you talk about defamation and slander, the slander of it is verbal, but it's calculated, it's cool, you are doing it deliberately. You go somewhere, like this, an audience, just three of us, assume you are in a room, and I begin to say, do you know that lecturer, that HOD, that man? Hey, that man is a terrible person, no. He does not only collect sexual favors, you can pay by money. In fact, he does this, he does this, he does this. Words of mouth. It's not painted, it's not documented, but you are my target audience. That's defamation. You said the man is, in fact, the man is fraudulent in his work. That's the summary of it. And he's an extortionist. He takes gratification before he could. And absolutely professionally perverse. Because once you give him money, you must pass. Even when you are a dance. So you've really bring him down.
So can you sue in that context?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And in those kind of cases, the lecturer will now need to bring witnesses, because since it's not recorded, nothing was recorded. So I was there now when he said this, when he said that, when just like there was a trial, there are some instances of trials in the Bible when some people testify against him and say, oh, he said we'll do this, he spoke against God, he spoke against the king, and all that. So libel. Libel. But libel is got to be documented. In fact, it's easier to prove because documents don't lie. In the old days, it used to be basically print, later audio recording or visual recording, now internet. When people say internet does not sleep, it does not forget, you can dig back, because it's permanent. It's the permanence that makes the punishment, the sanction, heavier, because how many years are we talking about here? No, depends on no. If you know we are talking thoughts, normally before you have you can punish defamation under the laws of thoughts. There used to be criminal defamation too, but it's been expanded now. When you have the Cyber Stalking Act, Cyber Prohibition, Cyber Prevention Crimes Act, and all that. So sometimes it can be as much as 6 years. Wow. As much as 7 years, coupled with fines. So when somebody says, I'm just talking innocently, like you said, how innocent is the innocence? Because usually people don't talk innocently. People talk maliciously. People talk bitterly, and people tend to exaggerate. Maybe the fellow has slapped a person. Well, you say, if you see the way he removed the man's teeth, and nothing like that has happened, you have expanded the story. Okay. Okay. Yes. Totally out of time. We needed to engage you a lot more on this because I see that you're referencing the Criminal Code section 313 and 315 and all of that. So I wanted you to break it up because I wanted to also bring the issue of comedy and AI in all of this, because when you look at that code, it could be tricky. It's not tricky. I understand we're totally out of time. So whatever I want to say, can you say it in 30 seconds? We're totally out of time. Okay. The thing is that when you want to utter statements against people, you have to be very careful and put yourself in their shoes and the shoes of the ordinary person. Because you have the freedom of expression on one side, but at the same time, the law is conscious of the need to prevent needless harm and trauma to the other side. I must thank you, Mr. Adesina Ogunlana, legal practitioner, known as a radicalist, former chairman, NBA Ikeja branch, and a social justice activist. Thank you so much for your insights on this particular subject. You're welcome, please. Thank you. Well, that's it. We told you to listen up before you get posting on X, Facebook, or Instagram. Now that you know, I guess you know how to go about that. Well, we'll shift gears now. We'll come back. The Third Mainland Bridge has been reopened to users a few days now. So the aftermath of it, the Director of Works joins us for that conversation after this break. Join in again.